just so that we have an opportunity to share it out with folks that weren't able to make it today. So here we go. Anybody? Well, let's do the introductions quick. I've got us recording and I've got transcription on as well. So I'm going to start with Martha, if that's okay.
Yeah, good afternoon. Martha Lutz, and I'm representing Leadership Greater Topeka alumni.
Awesome. And I'll just call out names. I think that's always easier. Stephanie?
Sorry, you caught me eating.
I'm having lunch. And I was like, no.
So hello, everyone. I'm Stephanie Mccaleb. I work for Hills Pet Nutrition.
Very good. Shaden.
Hello, everyone. I'm with the Washburn Student Government Association, and I'm actually zooming on top of a mountain right now in Colorado. So it's a little fun fact.
Awesome. I kind of thought maybe you were on a bike or something. I was like, what is she doing? But a mountain is brilliant. I'm not sure the first name, but Cranes, I think is the last name.
My first name's Kim.
Kim.
It's Kim Raines with Capers Retirement
Gotcha.
System.
Very good. Brenda.
Hi, I'm Brenda Cripps with Core First Bank and Trust.
And Liz?
I'm Liz Walker, and I'm with Capital Federal. There's two Liz's.
There is two Liz's. My bad.
And I'm Liz Barnes. I'm with Stormontvale.
Very good. Marilyn.
Hi, I'm Marilyn Murphy, Director of Sunshine Connection.
Very good. Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy Fluke, and I'm with the Kansas Hospital Association.
All right. Morgan.
Hi, I'm Morgan Earl, and I am with MISE CPAs.
Sorry, I'm helping somebody with a little bit of technology at the same time. All righty. Here's another one. All right. Taylor.
Hello, I'm Taylor Kimmel, and I'm with FHL Bank Topeka.
And Derek Brown.
Hi, everyone. Derek Brown. I'm with Evergy.
And Misty. All right, we'll jump to Michaela. We're just doing name introductions, Michaela.
Okay, hi, I apologize that I'm late. I'm Michaela Hermish from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas.
Awesome. And Jake Cook, maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is Jackie Cook, and I'm working with Liz representing Stormontvale Health.
Very good. I was going to guess that, but then I didn't want to guess wrong. Very good. All righty. Very good. So we will go ahead and get started. I will share my screen again and just show everybody the logo design one more time. So we're really, really excited for Nancy Perry Day of Caring this year. I believe that we will be able to move a little bit closer to our normal Nancy Perry Day of Caring experience. We are bringing back the breakfast kickoff, which is exciting. At least that is our current intention. So we hope to be able to continue to do that. And obviously we're going to keep an eye on all of the Shawnee County Health Department and the CDC requirements, and we will continue to keep you posted if there is anything that comes up. So, all righty. Let's see. So what you guys should see on your screen is the Nancy Perry Day of Caring handbook. Is that what you see?
Yes.
Very good. All righty. Well, we'll go through this really quick and then I'll show you some things on topekavolunteers.org, which is frankly probably what most of you care about. But we're going to talk a little bit about the organization sign up side of things. So again, Nancy Perry Day of Caring this year is on September 24th. One thing that I will share is that when you are signing up, whether you're signing up as an individual or if you are signing up your team, it's going to be really important that you pay attention to the shift times. Every shift that you sign up for, the time frame, the actual start and end time of that shift will actually be in the title of the opportunity. We did that this year because we're allowing the agencies that have submitted opportunities to be flexible in their shift times and the number of individuals that they have signing up. And so it'll just be important for you all as you're signing up your organizations, your teams, to pay attention to that time frame so that you're signing folks up when you think you want to be signing individuals up. And we've made it really clear and it's listed in multiple places, so everybody should be good. As many of you know, Nancy Perry Day of Caring is a large day of community service. It's an opportunity for our community to give back in one day. And I will tell you the agencies appreciate you all so much for taking the time out of your day to give back. Many of our agencies depend on this opportunity to be able to do some things that they just can't do by themselves. And that could be, minor repairs or refreshes to buildings or classrooms. That could be preparing a mailer or a stuffer or something that they give out throughout the year. So everything that you all do is vital and very important to the success of all of the agencies that you will choose to support during Nancy Perry Day of Caring. Obviously, there's lots of benefits to participating, leadership development, networking. My hope is for the agencies that come together as a group that we will be able to really connect again. I will share that many of our opportunities that are group opportunities that are like in person on site are outside. So there's a good benefit to that as well. We do have some indoor opportunities, but those are typically smaller groups. And you'll see that when we kind of go through stuff today. You all are sort of the volunteers, and the important thing, if nothing else, that you get from the training today is if you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to reach out. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I will share that in the office, we are practicing a hybrid model. So there are some days that we're in the office and some days that we're working from home. So email for me or my cell phone number is probably always going to be the best way to connect, just knowing that sometimes we're in and out of the office. And all of that information is there. Of course, if you do call the office main line and leave a message, I will get back to you as soon as I can. So, and I'll be honest, I'm in the office most of the time. I like it better in the office. So I have a 2-year-old. He can sometimes be a distraction. All right, so guidelines and procedures, kind of talking about things. So something that's really, really important for you to start doing now is start recruiting individuals to participate. Send out an email and say, September 24th, Nancy Perry Day of Caring, who wants to participate? Start creating and developing that list. And for some of you may have already started doing that, which is awesome, but the sooner you get on that, the better. It's going to make the sign up process for you easier. You also want to make sure that you have designated team leaders. So those of you that are on the call today, you're probably sort of the company contact, which is important. That is the person I will reach out to if I'm noticing teams are struggling. But each team also has a team contact. The purpose of that is really important. That person is basically the individual that's going to be communicating with the agency that they signed up for. So if they're going to Harvesters to help with the backpack snacks packing, there's going to be one person that's going to be communicating with Amy as the site leader at Harvesters for that event. She doesn't want to talk to all 10 of your team members. She just wants to talk to one, and your responsibility as then the team leader is going to be to talk to the other 10 folks or 5 folks or however many folks are on your team. We do not have a limit this year or a maximum amount this year. We are allowing individuals to sign up individually. We're also allowing companies to sign up big teams or small teams. So you can decide how you want to do that. But make sure that you have basically a key point of contact for every volunteer team or opportunity that folks are signing up for. That's going to be the important thing. That team leader, that designated person, I'm going to reach out to and confirm a cell phone number and an email. The other important role that that person plays is if somebody gets hurt, nobody's going to get hurt, but if somebody gets hurt, that person will be responsible for notifying me to let me know, what has happened and if we need, what kind of things we need to do in regards to follow up. So that it's also kind of an emergency contact information purpose as well. All of the opportunities will be signed up through the topekavolunteers.org system. So the other piece that you can start doing right now is encouraging your members to sign up an account. And I will show you how to do that. It is really simple. It takes like 5 minutes or less to create an account. So you can, and I will also be sending out all kinds of information, like handout information that you can push out in an email as well to your employees that help with the account creation process. So we are also going to be putting videos online. So if you wanted to just send a link out to your employees to say, hey, go to this link, it's got lots of resources on how to sign up an account, how to sign up for a volunteer opportunity, you could do that as well. So lots of resources this year that we're glad to share. I will also be reaching out to the team leaders about breakfast. So kind of getting an RSVP count from the team leaders on whether or not they will be attending. The breakfast this year is at 7:30 a.m. and you'll get an invitation specifically for the kickoff. And it's at Great Overland Station this year. So we're really excited to be able to come back in person. We will have a kind of a grab and go breakfast. So it's not gonna be buffet style like it's been in the past. It's gonna be more grab and go. Again, that's kind of a COVID precaution. We kind of talked about shifts. So some shifts will be kind of all day, 9 to 4. We have a couple 9 to 5 shifts. Lots of 9 to noon shifts or 9 to 1 shifts. And then we do have a few afternoon shifts that start, whether that's at noon to 4 or 1 to 4. So you just, again, want to pay attention to the timing. Your team lead or company lead, this kind of depends on the company, how you all want to do this, will be responsible for picking up your shirts before Nancy Perry Day of Caring. We do ask that all volunteers, for safety purposes, wear the Nancy Perry Day of Caring volunteer t-shirt, and it's going to be awesome this year. So 2 bonuses there. So, and I will communicate with the companies and team leads about pickup. So you'll know when to pick up, when things are available, where to go, all of that information too. Some other things, you'll be if you want to go to your sites in advance to kind of see what you're doing and meet and get, drive out there and know where you're going and that kind of stuff, you can do that. You'll just need to make those arrangements with the agency you're volunteering with. And you'll have a contact information when you sign up through the system for the agency that you're signing up for. So you'll have all of that information. But if you do get stuck or you're not getting a response or something like that, don't hesitate to connect. No alcohol can be brought on site. And if you wanted to play music or a radio, depending on the type of opportunity, most agencies have no problem with this, but please just ask before you bring that or start, starting the radio or something like that, just so that they can make sure that the clients that they're serving are not being interrupted. Again, just some general information I'll go over here. No project's going to start before 9 a.m. So that's something that's really important. If your site like reaches out to you and says, hey, if you want to start at 8:30, that's fine. Please let me know, because they shouldn't be starting before 9 o'clock. So that's something that's important. Again, we've talked about the shifts. Lunch this year. So last year we actually asked the sites not to serve lunch because of COVID. This year we are allowing the sites that are hosting an all-day event, or volunteers all day, that they can host a lunch if they want. But we have asked them to continue to monitor Shawnee County's requirements. We've also asked them to make sure that they're following good meal hygiene procedures if they are going to host a lunch. We've sort of encouraged individually wrapped things if at all possible. So depending on your group and kind of where you're at with all of those things, if you're doing a full day shift, you might just reach out to the site manager and talk to them a little bit about lunch. And they can confirm with you kind of what to expect and all of those things. But that'll be on the site. And to be honest, there isn't a lot of full day shifts as options this year. There's probably only 2 or 3 sites that will actually host the lunch. Most of your volunteer opportunities you're going to get done at noon or 1 o'clock or in between there somewhere, or you start at 1. So lunch isn't really a part of the equation. We are asking that you help the agencies and your team check in at your volunteer opportunity. And we're going to talk about sort of best practices for that and how you all can do that easily through the system. But this allows us to have a good understanding of who was there and who wasn't there. So when we track hours and numbers and economic impact at the end of the event, we have good, accurate data. So you might get a follow-up email from me that just says, hey, who was missing from your volunteer experience? I can go in then and verify all the hours and that kind of stuff. For weather, if it is drizzling, we're still doing it. If it is maybe anticipating a harder rain over the lunch hour, we're still going to do it. If it's lightning and really severe weather, we may call it. The site also has sort of authority to tweak the volunteer opportunity. So for example, some of the volunteer opportunities will have an inclement weather clause that basically says, hey, if we can't do this outdoor project that we were planning, we do have a sort of backup indoor opportunity to have you volunteer for. Just stay in communication with your site, the agency site contact, and they will be able to work with you through any changes that might need to happen if weather is a part of that. But we don't have if it's raining on the 24th, we're going to push it back to October 5th or something like that. So the 24th is the date. Again, I talked about the breakfast already, or kickoff. The other thing that's really great about this that I will share with you is that this is when we recognize our commitment to service to the community. It is our community award that we give out. And this year we have 2 categories. So we have a youth category for a community service award, and we have a professional category. The youth category is 21 years of age and under. And then of course, anybody over 21 will go into that professional category. But if you have employees, friends, organization members that you are like, oh my gosh, they are doing awesome things in Shawnee County and Topeka, and you think that they should be recognized for the work that they do, that also applies to Jefferson and Jackson County as well. Please, please, please have them nominated. The nomination form takes, like, no joke, maybe 5 minutes to complete. And then we send an email to the individual that's nominated to have them fill out a little bit more robust application. But it's a really great opportunity to recognize individuals in our community for all of the great work that they do. So that's our Ad Astra Honors Service in the Community Award. And it's our community-wide service award. And I will include those links in the follow-up email that I send so that you all have access to submitting for that. If there's somebody you're thinking about, maybe would be a good nomination. All right. Okay, so registering, what does that look like? So we are using the topekavolunteers.org platform, and it is, while it's technology, it really is a pretty simple process for you to do. The important things, and we'll talk about this, I'll show you how to do all of this stuff. The reason why we need every person to go into the system is because they are signing a waiver. And so right now it's just the liability release for United Way of Greater Topeka and a photo release for United Way of Greater Topeka. Last year we included a COVID-19 release, and we're kind of paying attention. It's a little too soon for us to decide if we're gonna do the COVID-19 release again, but we're paying attention to our numbers and all of those statistics to determine whether or not we're going to include that waiver in the process as well. But those waivers, you can, your team members, your employees, your organization members, they cannot sign up for an opportunity until they complete that waiver. It's all done electronically. I like to save the trees. I also like to not have boxes of paper in my office. So that piece is really important. All right. There are also, each team member is going to be asked some questions: first name, last name, preferred email, t-shirt size. I talked about that waiver already. We will confirm the t-shirt order at the end of the month so that we can get stuff printed. Okay. Any questions before I kind of go on to this last section? Okay. So this is kind of week before date of information that I'm sharing right now. So it's really important that you are communicating with your agency site manager. This is going to be the person that's going to help you get to where you're going, know what you need to bring, know if there's going to be a tweak in a volunteer opportunity for whatever reason. So you want to confirm the arrival time, the best address, the best point of contact, right? You might share a phone number, an email, or however is best to communicate. What are the requirements so that you can share with your team so that they're prepared for their day? You can also please do a good job of communicating with the agency if you have someone that's not going to be able to show up for whatever reason. Obviously, stuff happens, right? You know, somebody might get sick, or they have a kiddo that gets sick, or whatever the case may be. That is absolutely okay, right? We're all human. But it's really helpful if you can share with your agency manager that, you know, Bobby Sue's not going to be able to make it today for the volunteering, just so that they know what to expect when they're coming for ordering water and snacks, and if there is a lunch, ordering food, also making sure that the project's going to be completed and all of that good stuff. So talked about understanding what you might need to bring. I will tell you, volunteers need to usually bring very little. It's usually like, bring a water bottle. If you have gardening gloves, bring those, right? I mean, you're not going to have to bring paint. If you have a paintbrush you like, if you sign up for a painting one, I think they usually put in there, we'll have paintbrushes, but if you have a special paintbrush, you can bring your special paintbrush. So it's kind of stuff like that. You can also do some clarifying, right? I've had teams, volunteers in the past that have been expecting. And so like their team leader will work with me or the site manager to kind of make sure that they have a good understanding of what's going to happen during the volunteer project, so that they can communicate with those that might have different needs for the volunteer experience, but also so that the agency knows, hey, you're going to have, you know, somebody in a wheelchair, or somebody that's in that, you know, might not be able to lift quite as much because of whatever reason, right? So just make sure that you're communicating with them about those things. Please ask everybody to wear their Nancy Perry Day of Caring shirt. Understand the rain plan. So like if it's sprinkling, don't show up. Reach out to your site manager and confirm, yes, we're going to keep doing it. No, we're not, or we're going to tweak it. We're going to have you come to this location. We're going to have you do something inside. All of those things happen. Confirm water, snacks, lunch, all of that stuff. So you can share with your team, hey, they're just going to have snacks. So if at noon you're going to be hangry and you're going to need a granola bar or something like that, you might bring an extra granola bar. Or if you have severe food allergies like I do and you can't eat anything that comes out of a box, you might know then to bring your own apple or whatever the case may be. Also ask them about parking. Most places have parking lots, but sometimes like for example, Habitat might have you go to actually a person's home for their volunteer opportunity because you're going to be landscaping or painting the outside of their house. And so just confirming best places to park and that kind of stuff is going to be important. And then of course that team leader is responsible for communicating all of that information then out to their team. Now I will share with you, the system itself pushes out some information, just alerts. I also send out some communication. Last year in my end of the year evaluation, I had 2 people say that there was too many emails about the event. 2 is not enough. So when I start getting 50% of the people saying, hey, we've got enough communication, then I feel like maybe we're close. All righty. We also have social media. So if you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we want you to tag us. So this year's hashtags are Nancy Perry Day of Caring 21 or hashtag Live United. That helps us kind of collect and gather things. We love your pictures. It helps us create a story for the day. So absolutely, please share and talk about all the good work that your teams are doing out in the community. And then the last page of your handbook is just important dates to remember. So the submission deadline for agencies has passed and they have, for the most part, we've gotten all of our submissions in. I've got a couple of folks that I'm firming up some details on, but we have close to 600 opportunities for your teams and volunteers and organizations to sign up for this year. And it's a variety. So we have virtual opportunities. We have remote, which is the kind of opportunity where you pick up supplies and then you can kind of do it anywhere. That could be maybe in an office setting, or it could be maybe at home or whatever the case may be. So we have some of those remote opportunities. We also have in-person opportunities. So we were very strategic about making sure that we provided lots of options because frankly, everybody is kind of at a different place. Some folks are still working at home. Some folks would appreciate not being with lots of people for whatever the reason may be. I mean, it could just be they like to be at home. So all of those things are really important. Other dates to look at. So the platinum sponsor, depending on sponsorship. So if you are a part of an organization that sponsored the event, you sort of get premier access to the volunteer opportunities. It's sort of the perk of donating to the event. And of course, we appreciate all our sponsors and I'll share them here in a little bit, but our platinum sponsors open August 9th. That's next week. And they know, but so that August 9th is coming up. And then we do not have any diamond sponsors. We do have 2 gold sponsors that will be signing up probably before the 16th now, because I basically don't wait a week. Like once I get the platinum sponsor good to go, I'm going to actually open it up to the gold sponsors. So you'll get some information for my gold sponsors. You'll get some information when the platinum sponsors get information, so you can kind of start looking and get an idea of what you might be interested in. Then we open it up to silver sponsors, bronze, and then we'll open it once I have all my sponsors taken care of, then we open it up to the public. And that's when anybody can sign up for anything that's left. And there will be plenty that's left, and there will be plenty of opportunities for different levels. So If I feel like I'm running out of maybe the virtual remote options, I will get more. I will figure out how to add more opportunities for folks. So please know that that is absolutely going to be a part of the process. Other things for you all, t-shirt orders are going to happen. I'm going to finalize the order at the beginning of September, and day of carrying is the 24th. And you will get communication from me between the 3rd and the 4th about picking up shirts or picking up any supplies that you might need depending on your volunteer opportunities. So for example, last year, Marion Dental had many volunteers create dental kits. It's a little bag that you get after you visit the dentist that has toothbrush and toothpaste and floss, and they added some education materials in there. They have, from last year's Nancy Perry Day of Caring, no joke, they have a storage unit that is full of dental kits. She said it's probably the only storage unit in Topeka that smells like mint, which is probably accurate from all the toothpaste. We will communicate with you all of those things. Again, the breakfast happens at 7:30 a.m. It is in person at the moment. Of course, we will share if that has to change for any reason. Great Overland Station. I do want to take a little bit of time to do a shout out for our sponsors. So we are so happy and grateful that Security Benefit SE2 was able to come back as our platinum sponsor for this year's event. To be honest, with all of our sponsors, it would be hard for us to do this event. It is we do a lot of really awesome things in the community, but it also can't happen for free. So we really appreciate all of our sponsors. Our gold sponsors are Capital Federal Bank and Hills Pet Nutrition. Thank you to our gold sponsors for supporting us at that level. And our silver sponsors are Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas, Core First Bank and Trust, Evergy, and Stormont Vale Health Foundation. So again, Nancy Perry Day of Caring can't happen without the generous donations to support this program in our community. And I will share sort of our final number last year. So while our Nancy Perry Day of Caring numbers were much smaller last year due to COVID, we still created an economic impact over $60,000 with Nancy Perry Day of Caring alone. And with all of the programs and organizations that use Topeka volunteers and are connected with United Way, we were close to $5 million of an economic impact with all of the service that happened last year. So we appreciate you and your teams and the volunteers that do great work in our community. It truly does make an impact, and it supports the agencies that you guys care about and want to do good work with. So I'm going to stop sharing that, see if there's any questions there really quick. And you will get a copy of the handbook when I email out some other information. So you'll have a copy of that. You'll also get a couple of different PDF sort of handbooks that help with creating an account or help with signing up a team. And then you'll also get a link from me to our website, United Way's website, that's going to have basically everything. It's going to have this training on there. It's going to have a video on how to create an account. It's going to have a video on how to sign up a team, how to sign a waiver, all of the little things that sometimes can be tripping points along the way. There's going to be a little video for you all to help your employees, your staff, your members sign up for things. So because we want to try to make this process as easy as possible. So we want to provide you lots of resources to be able to help make that process as smooth as possible. The other thing I will share with Topeka volunteers is if you get stuck or you have a lot of sometimes the tripping point is the person doesn't know if they have an account or not. So if you have an Excel spreadsheet of all of the individuals and their emails, that's all I need, a name and an email. I can go into the account and see if they already have an account. And what I can do is push them a notification saying, your account password's been updated. Please log in, update your password, and sign up for Nancy Perry Day of Caring or whatever. So I can kind of help guide your process on the front end too. So if you have that list of people you know are going to participate, but you're not sure if they have an account in the system yet, and they're also not sure, just shoot me an email and send me that list, and I can confirm for you who's in the system already and who's not. Frankly, that's better for me, because when they create a duplicate account, then I have to go in and I have to delete things, and then it's just easier on the front end if I can help you help them. So absolutely can help with that. If you have folks that are struggling to create an account or sign a waiver or whatever, send them to me. I can help them, right? I mean, I did that last year as well. So just don't let the technology be a barrier. We can get it figured out pretty simple. All righty, I'm going to show you just a couple of things here quick, and then I will open it up to any other questions y'all might have. All right, so let's see. Do that. So if you go in, I'm actually going to log out here quick. If you go to topekavolunteers.org, it's going to redirect you to the United Way of Topeka Galaxy Digital page. It's just the system we use. If your folks already have an account, they're going to obviously go to log in. If they don't have an account and they know they don't have an account, right, like they're a new employee or they've just never used the system before, they would go to sign up, okay? And they just fill this out. It does say already have an account, click here. This would take them to the login page, or I want to sign up an agency. You all don't want to sign up an agency, okay? All of you just want to make sure that your employees or members have just an account here. Here's the thing. If you want the other piece that we need to do for any new groups, so for organizations who've participated in Nancy Perry Day of Caring in the past, you probably already have a group set up in the system. But if you're a newer group, what we'll need to do is create a user group for you. That's super simple. You just need to send me a list of the emails, or if you're a company and all of the URLs are the same, or maybe there's just one or two URLs for your company, send me what the at, UnitedWayOfGreaterTopeka.org, whatever is after the at. And then what I can do in the system is create user groups for anybody that has that URL. Now, obviously, if you are an organization and your members have Gmail accounts, I'm not going to be able to create a user group just by the URL. I'll need a list, but I can create that group really simple once they're in the system. So I just need a list from you. And then what I'll do is create a user group, and that allows you to keep track of the hours your group does. So for companies and businesses, if you don't already have a system that's tracking all of your employees' hours, how they're volunteering, where they're what type of volunteer hours they're doing, we encourage folks to set up a meeting with us, because we would love for you to use Topeka Volunteers to track your internal hours. That's true for churches. It's true for organizations that you're a part of, schools, whatever kind of group. If you are having your membership do hours and you want to track it, come and talk to me, because I would love to talk to you about some of the capabilities of the system on the back end for groups managing tracking hours, right? If you're doing it in an Excel spreadsheet, give me a call, shoot me an email, we can get you set up. So to create an account, these are the things that's going to ask you: first name, last name, email. I encourage those that are associated with a company, so like Hills or Core First or CapFed or Blue Cross, use your work email, because then you'll automatically be joined into the group that you're already that's been assigned or created for you. What's your company name? You can put your company address or home address. It's up to you. The city, state, zip code, the county, which most folks put Shawnee County, and then your mobile number. Now, the reason this is required is the system actually does allow text to be sent, which is nice. If you're going to volunteer a lot and the agency that you're working with is going to be sending out alerts, not many of them do this, I will share. So it's not like you're going to get a bunch of text from the system, but it's good to have an accurate mobile number in there. This isn't required, but if you know you can only volunteer in the evenings or maybe only on the weekends, you could put that in there. It asks for a birth date, which isn't required, gender, not required, age, and it's not like your age specific, just a range. Some of this information is just for demographic information for us, so we can kind of run numbers for different groups. Then you create a password and you confirm your password and you hit create account. Like, that's all you need to do. There are like 5 other pages that it takes you through, but that's liking organizations that you might want to volunteer with, what kind of volunteer opportunities you are interested in, what areas of interest are you in. None of those things are actually required. Once you hit create the account, your account's been created, right? But the more information you give the system, the more accurate information it's going to send to you, right? It's like any program these days, they have algorithms built into it, so it sends you the things that you might be most interested in. So pretty simple there. So I'm going to go ahead and log in quick here to my personal account. And show you some things. Oh, apparently not. Okay, maybe it'll work this time. Perfect. Okay, so a couple of things I'm going to show you. So this is my sort of my personal volunteer account. So if you go to the letter, or if it's your picture, if you've added your picture to your profile, you can view your profile, which is your profile, which tells you all kinds of things like how many hours you've logged, what your causes and interests are. If you wanted to print out a volunteer resume, which is a PDF of all the volunteer hours you did in a given time, you can do that there. What agencies you fanned or liked in the system. So lots of cool things. If you fan or like an organization in the system, I will share one of the things that the system does is anytime that agency posts a volunteer opportunity, you'll get an email saying, hey, you liked United Way of Greater Topeka. They've posted an opportunity. You might be interested in it, you know, and they'll give you a link to check out the page. So it's kind of cool if you've got a couple of agencies you want to pay attention to and you want to volunteer for. So, all righty. So the other thing in this track down thing that I want to show you is qualifications. These are the waivers. It's what's qualifying you to sign up for a volunteer opportunity. So right here, you can see I've completed 1 volunteer waiver. For the Nancy Perry Day of Caring, I'm going to do, it'll say Nancy Perry Day of Caring 2021. It won't say 2020, but I'm just going to do this one quick. It will pull up this sign that says e-signature. So are you willing to do an electronic signature? Yes. And then you're going to type in your name and type in your name and what is the date? The 5th. And then, yes, I'm cool with them taking pictures. And then you're going to hit complete signing. Now, say I didn't sign something somewhere, or I didn't date it right. It'll give you an error message. It'll highlight what you missed. Are you sure you're willing to consent? Yes. And then that waiver is going to show up as pending approval. And once it approves, it'll show up in the completed. Okay. And let's see, I think it's still going to make me sign out. I'm just going to do that for now so that it doesn't bog down the system. But that's how you sign up for a qualification. So once you've had your team go in, I will tell you this, if they try to sign up or you try to sign them up for a volunteer opportunity, it won't let them continue until they complete that qualification. So it's important that they go into the system to complete that qualification. It will allow for you to add them and then kind of check their process, but they're going to have to go in and they're going to have to agree to some questions. They're also going to have to go in to sign that waiver. If that's not something you will necessarily be able to do for them as their team leader. So that qualifications part seems to be the part that trips people up the most. And again, I will have videos just for that to help through that process. Sorry, guys. Okay, so say I want to sign up for an opportunity. I'm back at my personal account, so I'm going to go to opportunities, and it's going to pull up every public opportunity and private opportunity I have access to. The way to make it really easy for you to filter out what is what, you want to go to initiative, click on that, and then select Nancy Perry Day of Caring and hit search. So then what it's going to do is it's going to pull up every opportunity that you have access to that's connected to Nancy Perry Day of Caring. It's going to filter out everything else. This is nice because it's easier to help you find things. If you know that you want, let's see, you know it's with United Way, you can do that same filter and then it should only pull up the one. Now, obviously there's like, I think 65 different opportunities in there right now. So I only added one for this training purpose, but you're going to have lots that you can dig through. So if you know specifically, like for example, I think Evergy might sign up for the zoo opportunity because they're a sponsor of Zoo Lights, and that's what the volunteer opportunity is doing, right? And not that other groups can't, but Evergy typically signs up for that one often. They might type in zoo, the filter initiatives in Nancy Perry Day of Caring, and what it's going to do is it's going to bring up the zoo opportunity for them to sign up for. Okay, so I want to sign up for this test opportunity. I'm going to click view details. Okay, so you can see how many spots are available. So 20, if your team is only 5, you've got 5 spots that you can fill with this one. If there's only 2 spots available, then you might look at a different volunteer opportunity. It's going to tell you what interests are connected to that opportunity. It's going to share with you additional information about the volunteer opportunity. Say I want to respond, and I'm going to respond as a team. So I'm going to go down to that bottom button. I'll do that again. You can either click this button right here, or you can scroll down to the bottom, click this button right here. If you're going to respond as a team, if you're going to respond as an individual, you just hit respond. So that's kind of the difference there. So what's your team name? We're going to be Team Test, and I want to add me as a volunteer. Okay, so that's added me as the volunteer. Now, say I want to add folks from my user group. Okay, so I'm with United Way of Greater Topeka, and your user group is going to be whatever user group you're already affiliated with is going to show up there. And then you can see who else can sign up for this opportunity. So you can't sign up folks that haven't already filled out that qualification. So you'll see why it says this member has not met the needed qualifications. It means that they need to sign a waiver, okay? But I'm going to add the folks to the team that I can add. Okay, maybe I want to add a volunteer. this is a way that you could add a volunteer on their behalf, but they still need to go in and complete that waiver, right? So I don't know, let me see. So see how this error message comes up and it says that they're not qualified. If they're in the system and they've signed the opportunity, this error message won't come up. And what it will do is it'll pre-populate this information for you, which is nice. And then you can hit add as a team member, and you can hit finish. And what it will do is it'll add them as a team member. If you have, like, say you want to save, okay, so I'm gonna hit finish for a second. Oh. Cancel. Okay, so I'm gonna finish. I'm also the leader. Okay, so say I want to add some other folks, but I know that they haven't completed the waiver, but I want to save 5 spots, okay? I'm gonna reserve spots. So I'm going to reserve 4 other spots because I'm the 5th person, and I'm going to hit update. Okay, so then what that does is it tells the system that 5 people are signing up, and it gives you some time to go back to your teammates and say, you need to fill out the waiver. But it doesn't allow for somebody else to take your spot. Does that make sense? So then you can go to then add team members, and you can add that team information, and it will fill in those reserve spots for you, which is nice. But if I go back to the opportunities now, and I filter again by initiative, and I select Nancy Perry Day of Caring, and then I view details, you can see there's only 15 spots now because you've taken away 5 of them. So again, really what you need to do if you're signing up for a team, if you know all of your team members have gone in and done all the things that you do, add them to your team. I mean, that's going to be the best way to do it. But if you know that you have 5 people on your team and you're going to have to do some follow-up with them, just go in, do yourself, then default reserve some spots, and then get them to add. And what happens on my side is as folks go into the system and complete the registration process, those default lines go away. If I see a lot of default lines associated with your organization, then what I'll do is shoot you an email and say, hey, I noticed you've got 10 default lines. Are you going to fill those? Can we work to get those filled so we know who is actually the default person, or can we release those opportunities so that other folks can sign up for them? So I will, communicate with you as a group to kind of figure out what that looks like for you. Okay. All right. Any questions there? So again, the important pieces are qualifications, and then you want to sign up your team. You also want to make sure you're affiliated with the user group. So a user group is your company or organization is what the user group is. So if you're with Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas, they have a user group. If you're not sure if a user group exists for your group, just email me and I can let you know. So those are kind of the 3 big steps. I'm going to log out and log back in as me, as the volunteer manager. And I'm going to kind of show you what we got out there for the opportunities for Nancy Perry Day of Caring so far. You're not going to see any of this back end stuff, just so you know. So like, if you're like, where is all that stuff? It's just, I'm the super user. So if you're not seeing something, don't freak out. Okay, so 53 spots that we've got currently set up. And again, I'm still working on a couple more. So some are repeats from previous years. So some things will look similar. So Harvesters is doing a shift. The Forest Park is doing their haunted park again. That's something. Topeka Zoo is doing zoo lights. The Topeka Cycle Project is doing some bike rack installs. Oh, NAMI has an event that day. And so they're recruiting volunteers to help with event setup and cleanup. So that's going to be at the mall. So that's where they'll be at during the day. Helping Hands Humane Society. I always tell folks this is playing with puppies and kittens. Pine Ridge Prep Beautification. This is it's not at Pine Ridge Prep. It's just in the Pine Ridge Partnership community. And so that you'll be doing some landscape work there. Cuddle Blankets for Successful Connections. This is a virtual remote. So see how the approved opportunities, it says the shift time. So 9 to 1, 9 to noon. Virtual remote means it can be done anywhere at any time during September 24th, I guess is the anytime part. Another virtual remote opportunity is packet assembling for Jayhawk area aging. Virtual remote opportunity for TDC Learning Center. They're putting together encouragement cards for their teachers, which I think is a really sweet opportunity. Let's see, what else do we got? We've got Meals on Wheels, cooler cleanup. They're doing some shelf stable stuff as well as a marketing project, which is really an organization thing. Classroom maintenance for Kansas Children's Discovery Center. If you made a casserole last year as a virtual or remote opportunity, they're back again. So you can work as an individual, or if your team wants to come together, if you have a kitchen maybe in your office setting or something like that, and you want to make a casserole, that's an opportunity again through the YWCA. Okay, let's see, what else do we got? Sunshine Connections has a couple of different opportunities. They're needing to update a ramp. They need to take a sign off their roof, which they say should be actually pretty simple. And then they're doing some door remodeling, adding a new door. Different painting projects, refresh to a playground for the YWCA. The rescue mission is doing some mulch work. So there's lots of cleanup, outdoor type things. Habitat has a home. So if you worked on a home for Habitat, which was really through United Way last year, but Habitat couldn't actually officially host one, but really you were working for Habitat. They have a home this year. It's less painting this year, it's more landscaping. Capper Foundation has some landscaping work. The Villages has, so honeysuckle is a wonderful and terrible plant, I suppose, depending on who you are. And they have a lot of it. And so they have crews go through and actually pull their honeysuckle. But they also have crews go in and make new trails too. So if you're somebody that likes outdoor work and gardening, don't mind to get a little bit dirty, I think this would be a fun opportunity. Bring your bug spray though, for sure on that one. And then of course, Boy Scouts, they have a few opportunities as well. I'm also working with Grace Med. They're going to have a virtual opportunity similar to Marion Dental's building dental kits. 501 is going to have encouragement cards again to give to the kiddos in their lunches. And then I'm working with North Topeka, the North Topeka Arts District. They're going to have a cleanup opportunity as well, I think. So there's a couple of things that are still outliers a little bit, but this is a pretty good list of opportunities that will be available. And some shifts are smaller, like I had said, and some shifts have lots of volunteer opportunities. So, you know, if you sign up your team, it might not just be your team there. For example, I think there's 40 slots at the zoo. Last year, that was kind of 2 organizations filled those slots. So I think we had folks from Stormont Vale there, as well as folks from Evergy at the zoo. The Topeka, the Boy Scouts, one of the Boy Scout opportunities is going to be broken up into 2 shifts of 50 to help with a camp celebration that they're doing. So again, that one's going to be outdoors and all of that. So that is my sort of presentation for the day. Does anybody have any questions? Awesome. I appreciate you all for hanging in a little bit after 1 o'clock. I apologize for that. I will be sending out an email that has all kinds of information. Please follow up with questions. It does take a little bit of time for the video to transcribe, so some of the videos won't actually be up online quite yet, but they will be by the end of the week. So just stay on top of that website. That's going to have the most up-to-date information always. And then, of course, I will be sending out communication as well. Awesome. Well, I appreciate all of you. If you don't have any other questions, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I look forward to working with you all for Nancy Perry Day of Caring.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.